I mean, you have a shark that's eating people that is half retarded. It seems like you got John Cena being. I guess that's how John Cena is in movies. It's his first movie I've actually seen with him.
You know, I couldn't help but think about the real world situation around James Gunn while watching this movie. Like this movie felt like,
I'm unfamiliar, so
Guardians one.
Well, no, we've all had not Guardians one. It's different. So let me try to explain. So we all have like a friend we vouched for, right? We knew we were lying when we were vouching for this friend for whatever reason or a person. We knew we were full of shit when we vouched for it. This movie felt like a cultural vouch for James Gunn because in the response of the controversy of what happened with his falling out with Disney, because so many people told me this movie was good and it just wasn't. There was nothing good about this movie at all except for some of the acting. Idris Elba did a fantastic job. I mean, that whole scene alone with him and his daughter in prison felt like, wow, this is fucking fantastic. But outside of some small moments of some individual actors' ability, there was nothing redeeming about this movie, and I just kind of felt lied to by the people that said that this movie was good. Kind of like how when you vouch for a friend, like, you have somebody that just fucking lies all the time. You're like, well, they don't lie all the time. You just, you're making shit up to try to make your friend not look so bad. And that's what it just kind of felt like culturally. People did that for this fucking movie. Because I had so many people tell me that this movie was good, and there's nothing fucking good about this movie.
Don't listen to those people again.
Yeah, outside of a few individual moments that had nothing to do with it. And I honestly think that this movie, to me, felt like it was on film James Gunn's mental state at the time of when he thought his career was over with, right? Because Disney fired him. All this bullshit. He thought his career was over with, and that whole situation was bullshit. And I don't agree with Disney at all. But he just took this job out of almost desperation, and it kind of felt like this was someone clawing at the dirt to try to survive to make a movie, and then for some reason the culture or society decided this movie was good because they wanted to pretend it was for James Gunn's benefit, and I just don't see anything good about this movie. Outside of some spectacular actors, performances, and very small moments of the movie. But the movie itself was just fucking garbage. And that's what's probably the most disappointing to me, because I kind of just feel like I've been bamboozled. Like, we all had this girl that we dated, and like all our friends was like, yeah, she's totally cool. And then you find out she's like fucking half the football team, and it's like, goddamn, why didn't y'all tell me that she was a lying whore? Oh, well, we just didn't want to do that because she was our friend. That's what I kind of feel like. I'm dating the bitch that fucked the whole football team, and everybody lied to me and said she was loyal. That's how I feel after watching only half the movie and then passing out for the other half because it was so fucking horrible.
If you've seen Suicide or Birds of Prey, the first Suicide or Birds of Prey, you couldn't walk into this expecting it to be good, James Gunn or not. I mean, there's no way that these movies were just going to jump out and be like amazing all of a sudden, because they portrayed them so fanciful and so over the top in so many like weird ways already. Like, you got to walk into this expecting it to be crap. And then if it surprises you, then it's like, oh, I got surprised. But instead, this movie was like, more of the same. I mean, less, because it's way better than Birds of Prey. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, way better than Birds of Prey. But I think the first Suicide Squad was better. With Jared Leto. Really.
I don't know.
It was that. The first Suicide Squad was a more coherent story.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I mean, fuck. I mean, granted, it was shit. Jared Leto was absolute garbage as a Joker, and he just needs to let it the fuck go. He was awful. That was a terrible take. But even with his terrible take and all that bullshit and the honka and all that crap, I would, to be honest now,
Harley was better in that one.
I would rather watch the first
the original. Yes, I don't remember. I don't think she was very good. But maybe they made her so fantastical and so over the top in Birds of Prey that I can't
remember past that.
Yeah, I can't remember past that. That might be the deal, because I mean, the original Suicide Squad, several years ago.
Yeah.
Have you seen the original Suicide Squad?
No, but this one was really good. But what were you guys expecting? Like, once it started about 10 minutes in, I was like, oh, this is like Shaun of the Dead or Scary Movie. It's just kind of
I think
it's
it's
a satire take on a superhero.
Yes. And as that point of it, I mean, you have a shark that's eating people that is half retarded, it seems like. You got John Cena being, I guess that's how John Cena is in movies. It's his first movie I've actually seen with him in it. But if you take in the satire part of it, and that's how I watched it, and I thought it was enjoyable, and I thought it had a good storyline. I mean, I don't really know why we got to know those characters in the beginning on Harley Quinn's group with the Weasel and them, because I mean they lasted 5 minutes. So I felt like we did spend a lot of time.
I think that was his twist. He was going to give you his twist in the beginning instead of the end.
Yeah, I thought that once they all died, I thought, well, that was kind of pointless. The whole first 10, 15 minutes getting to know these characters.
Because Jack Flag, the kind of like the leader of the first group, and then Harley, they're the carryovers from the first movie.
Yeah.
And so you kind of think that that's going to be the group, unless you've seen any of the previews. You know, like that's going to be the group you follow throughout the movie.
Yeah, but they should have at least let 2-3 of those join the group, not just her. Another one or two to tie it together, rather than just have, it's her. She's not going to die. So
yeah, and that's also part of the problem, is because it was kind of felt focus group influence, because she was carried over and she's just OP as shit because everybody likes her performance as Harley Quinn. I think she's a great Harley Quinn. I think she could.
Hot.
I think she could be a good Harley Quinn, but like they haven't made a good movie with the character of Harley Quinn. But it.
Yeah,
and see, out of the first Suicide Squad, she was the only positive thing that people took out of it, and so then they just decided to flip it and make her own movie, Birds of Prey, which flopped because it was garbage.
I didn't finish that one.
And this movie's kind of an extension of the, I guess, quote unquote, satisfaction of people, or of Margot Robbie's performance as Harley Quinn, and they just keep souping her up. It's almost kind of like Falcon of the MCU problem. She's just OP as shit.
Well, I don't know. I liked the fight scene. Like, if it would have made sense for us to get to that fight scene, like, it was it was a tad over the top in places, but it was cool in places because, I mean, that's sort of what you feel like Harley's job is, just to get out of ridiculous situations, and it seemed okay. I just don't know why we got there. Like, I don't know why the storyline didn't lead me there. Well, and then it feel like, oh, like this has got to happen, and then they just sort of nullified it at the end, because it's like if she would have just been patient, they'd have 5 or 6 people would have came and rescued her. I know they're beefing her, but why make it like a mute point?
Guys can't rescue girls anymore.